And
You're at 45 seconds.
Oh, man, this is already a failure.
This is at 40 seconds.
This has already gone downhill.
Mm-hmm.
We said we were going to do this whole review in 48 seconds. We already failed.
I think that was the review.
Yeah. Jurassic World Dominion. Let's talk about it. If you're watching this on Instagram, the under 5-minute episodes, this is going to be a level 0 of spoiler alerts. Level 0 meaning absolutely no spoilers, not even about like anything about the story. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you're listening to this on the podcast or if you're watching it on YouTube, this is like a level 2 spoiler alert, which means that we're still not giving away any surprises or endings of like this person died, this person didn't type of thing, but we still will describe scenes. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So those of you right now watching on YouTube, if you want the 0 spoilers and the quick 5-minute episode, go over on Instagram. I'm at Agostino Zoida. He's at Twin Pines Video. But if you're perfectly fine, if maybe you've seen it already, you just want to have some, you're okay with little spoilers, nothing too serious, just like stuff like, oh man, that scene with the dinosaur ran this way. You know what I mean? Just describing scenes. We'll call it a level 2.
Okay. Level 2.
Out of 5. 5 is like, we're giving away everything.
Jurassic Park is a very near and dear franchise to my heart. And I've always been let down with the sequels up until Jurassic World, the first Jurassic World movie. It actually brought a little bit of hope to the franchise for me. But at the same time, I never really liked the people part of that story. And the sequel to that was just god-awful in my opinion. And then I kind of had some hopes for this. What about you? For part 3.
I had really huge high hopes for part 3, man. High hopes.
What happened? That we saw it.
We saw it. That's what happened.
All right. What were your thoughts going into the movie?
I thought, well, to be honest, I was hearing that it wasn't as good as everyone thought.
Yeah.
And that first trailer they dropped, I thought it looked awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then the more they released different versions of the trailer, the more I can tell it didn't look as good as I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But still, going into the movie, I was excited about a new Jurassic movie.
I mean, who's not excited to see dinosaurs?
I will say that when it comes to part 1s, this franchise nails it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The best part 1 ever.
The original Jurassic Park is obviously the best of the 6 movies.
Mm-hmm.
And so original Jurassic Park 1, and then Jurassic World 1 is the best of the worlds.
Yes, the best of the other trilogy.
Dude, I like I like that they revamped it as Jurassic World. I like that they are keeping the franchise going. I don't think they need to end the franchise. I just think they need to make better movies.
Mm-hmm.
I like that the Universal ride is now the Jurassic World ride, and I really love the new additions they did to it. We saw it.
Yeah.
We rode it like 3 times.
Oh, it was fun. It was cool.
It's really fun. The new dinosaurs in the ride look realer than dinosaurs in part 3. Am I lying?
You know what? It's kind of sad because the first Jurassic Park movie did CGI dinosaurs better than this one. They're just too computerized. I don't know what it is, or maybe it's just for the fact that we got so used to CGI that we can just see it and everything. I don't know. I just feel like the CGI dinosaurs in part 1 were way better than Jurassic World 3.
So let me just get into shitting on this movie. Let's get it out the way. Dude, I was so disappointed by this movie. I was so bored with this movie. I think there's one good scene in the entire movie, 1.5.
Yeah.
And I think we all know what scene that is. It's the middle of the movie with the most action, which you saw in the trailer was Chris Pratt getting chased on a motorcycle.
Yeah, that was...
It's the coolest scene in the whole movie. There's great cinematography. There's great, cool dinosaurs fighting scenes. There's a dinosaur falling from an airplane scene.
Yeah.
So, it was just the coolest scene. The rest of the movie is shit. The rest of the movie is shit. Dude, it takes an hour to get to that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, there's no action. There's not no dinosaurs, but there's no action. We're just seeing dinosaurs. We're seeing baby dinosaurs that look like, I've seen toys look realer. It looked like a joke. Like, this is a joke, right? And it's just so boring. How do you take a monster movie and make it boring? How do you take a dinosaur movie and make it boring? How do you take a movie that people are going to come with their family and kids and open with an hour of science? It was just dumb. What were you thinking? And then I'll tell you what, sometimes you'll see, I don't know if it's the studio doing this or if it's the director's call, but sometimes I'll notice movies stealing things from other epic movies. Stealing things, I don't mean exact scenes or exact lines or exact stories. I mean stealing a feel. It's like with stand-up comedy, they'll say, like, he didn't steal his joke, he stole his cadence, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll see, like, the way this movie opened, which was telling us how the world is reacting to now living with dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It opened with us hearing that from a news perspective. We saw it on a news channel.
Yeah, that was a quick way to have exposition.
Yes, but it reminded me, including the music around the first hour of the movie, and especially that scene, it reminded me of, is it Justice League? Not the Snyder Cut. It was Justice League, right? That starts with the kids podcasting and Superman and the news.
Oh, yeah.
So not the Snyder Cut.
Did you really find a hippopotamus?
And there's music that was similar. And then I'm going to say my favorite part of the movie, that action scene that I mentioned, was straight out of Bourne Identity.
It did feel very,
it was very
Jason Bourne.
Yeah. Where was that scene where it took place? Like kind of like in the desert. Does anybody remember where that was? It was what?
Oh, wait, are you talking Jason Bourne?
No.
In Jurassic World, it was Malta.
Malta? Yeah. That scene in Malta with them running on rooftops.
Yeah.
Like running on rooftops and then diving into the window. I'm pretty sure that's the exact rooftop from the Bourne Identity.
That's right. I didn't even think about that until you just said it. All right. So all these dinosaurs that are all over the world right now, they came from that one mansion, right? From the second movie?
I guess so, yeah.
They had a mansion full of dinosaurs. It was like a black market selling things. And all those dinosaurs escaped from that mansion. And now they're all over the world. I just don't believe that. That just doesn't make sense to me, how they spread all over the world. There is no way a bunch of wild animals can escape from one mansion and not be hunted and killed by authorities before they spread all over the planet. And how do they reproduce like that so fast all over the world? That's what drives me crazy. I'm like, I don't believe it.
I mean, how did dinosaurs reproduce anyway? But anyway.
Well, they self-reproduce, apparently.
But I hear what you're saying. I'm not the smartest dude, especially when it comes to science and history. Is this something that we're contradicting ourselves? Is this something where it's known that dinosaurs could travel far? They did obviously recreate a long, long, long time ago and multiply by many.
How many dinosaurs would you say were in that mansion that escaped the second movie?
Less than were in Jurassic World.
So would you say a couple hundred?
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe a couple hundred, and now they're all over the planet. How do they get across the ocean? Probably other black market dealers bringing dinosaurs in across the seas and stuff like that. But it's just like, I just don't believe the widespread of dinosaurs everywhere just because they escaped a mansion. That doesn't, the numbers don't add up to me.
I guess they did address the black market of trading of dinosaurs, which I totally get. And I think that would happen. Actually, that probably would happen.
Yeah.
I mean, people do it with elephants and other types of exotic animals.
That's
so
true.
It would 100% happen.
But you're not walking down the street, bro, and seeing an elephant in the park.
Right.
That's how they were acting, like pterodactyls making nests in skyscrapers, kids walking down the street and being chased by little dinosaurs. I'm like, dude, they would just openly kill all those dinosaurs because they're an automatic threat to people.
But there are pit bulls everywhere. And people do trade pit bulls on the black market and fight them and bet on them and use them as bait to train their other fighting dogs, and then they end up in our shelters and then we adopt them.
I have another thing.
We should start something called Pitbull World.
Pitbull World. I would definitely go to that one. But here's another thing. How do people get away with thinking that this stops a dinosaur? Everybody was just doing that to random dinosaurs. They're just like this, and the dinosaurs stop. I'm like, I understand Chris Pratt doing that in the first Jurassic World
with the raptors.
He raised them, he trained them. They'll respond to this. But he was doing that to giant dinosaurs he ain't never seen before.
Yes.
These giant dinosaurs come out of the cage. He's just like, And they responded to it. And then Alan Grant was doing that to a raptor. He's just like,
Yeah.
"Ugh." And I'm just like, how do they, never mind. You know what? It's a movie.
I also noticed that because the first time one of them did it to not a raptor, I was like, does that work?
Does that
What
work?
happened?
How does that
You know
work?
where they stole that from?
What?
Crocodile Dundee.
Oh, okay.
Well, he but it wasn't just like, stop in the name of love
Yeah.
before you eat me up.
Another thing I didn't like is what were the giant bugs called?
Locusts.
Locusts. I could have done without the locusts in this movie altogether. I'm kind of at like I wouldn't say love-hate, I'd say like-hate with the locusts. I've seen swarms of insects in 1,000 movies. Like swarms of insects coming in like a tidal wave. We've seen that shot in 1,000 movies. It was like an epidemic at one point in the 90s. Like every movie had to have insects attacking you or something. And when I saw it, I'm like, this is a dinosaur movie. I don't need to see that. We've seen it in 1,000 movies. But so I kind of hated it. But my like about it was a great way, I feel, to make fun of Bill Gates. Like the main dude, the main villain, who is
Dodson. We got Dodson here. See,
Yes.
nobody cares.
He's like, I feel like represents Bill Gates.
Yeah, I can see
And
that.
I kind of like that they made the villain Bill Gates.
Yes. One of the things that I do like is that they brought the Dilophosaurus back, and more than a couple of times in this movie. I thought that was cool to see that again. And then, spoiler, they brought the Barbasol can back
For no reason.
They didn't need that. There's no way the embryos were going to survive that. Why would he keep that? Why would he keep that Barbasol can?
Like, were they implying that Bill Gates was not the real Bill Gates in the movie? Were they implying that when he was making a run for it on that train that he also grabbed the Barbasol? Like,
Yeah.
Also, why would the lab still have those?
Exactly.
Like, they're like, hey, remember that one time that one guy tried to steal our shit and he hid it in a Barbasol can? From now on, all our shit's going to be kept in Barbasol cans.
Yeah.
That
I don't know
was the
about that.
one...
I felt like he was just keeping that trophy, but like for what, dude? You're not a nostalgic guy. You're trying to kill the planet.
I get they're trying to do fan service, but guys, that's not how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Jurassic Park 1 and Jurassic World 3 are a great example of how men age better than women.
Oh my god.
Like in part 1, we're looking at Dr. Sattler like, she's way too hot for Dr. Grant.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, part 3, I'm like, he's too hot for her.
You know what? I felt like the only way he aged is he just got a little silver in his hair. I felt like that is the only thing that really made him age.
But that's what happens to men. Like, when they get older, they get, salt and pepper hair and beard, and that's attractive on men, or according to women, not me. But
I still think she looked good. But I can see the years.
I can see the years. I also feel like she had some surgery done to her face, but her body, she could still get it. Yeah. Another scene I hated. I hated the scene of the two of them in Breaking Bad costumes.
Yeah.
Breaking into the lab. Like, it felt so like cheese and forced dialogue.
Yeah.
It felt like a forced scene just to put them together where we couldn't even see their face.
Yeah. I didn't like the spy aspect. It's like he's a paleontologist and now he's a spy. Like, I don't know. I felt like this movie had so much potential to be great, and I as cool as it was to see Dr. Grant, Dr. Sattler, and Ian Malcolm together again. It was really cool to see them together again. But I just wish that they had a better story and movie to go with, because this movie was all over the place. There was so much story, and it's just like, what happened to good storytelling? Like, just one good movie where the story, you don't have to be like, what is going on here? There's so much stuff. I don't need so much stuff. Just give me a little bit of something good. That's what I want.
And there was also too much story. There was too much cutting back and forth between Chris Pratt and the little girl, and then and then it goes to like Dr. Grant, and then it goes to the scientist, and then it goes. There's too much going on. Then Dr. Malcolm. There's just too much going on where it's choppy, and then no action in any of the scenes in between.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a big problem with that too. I think that we both can agree we don't really like the cloning of humans aspect. That
I mean, I like cloning of humans. I just didn't necessarily like how that was a main part of this story.
I don't like it in my dinosaur movies. All right, you want to do a movie about cloning humans? I'm on board.
Multiplicity.
You know, I don't. If you want to, don't be like cloning dinosaurs and then go, we're also going to do a little girl for no reason. It was my least favorite part of part 2, and then I just didn't like the follow-ups with 3. And dude, everybody's going to see Jurassic World for Chris Pratt, okay, and the dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
He's the freaking superhero of the Jurassic World. And then you got some guys like us, nostalgia kids, who went to go see it for Dr. Grant coming back. And the two of them are hardly in it. There's way too much time of them not in it.
I hate to ask this. Is there anything that you did like about Jurassic World 3?
Okay. I like that. Remember I said there's 2 good scenes or 1.5?
Yeah.
I said there's 1.5 good scenes in this. The half a scene that was good, the only reason it made it good was kind of towards the end where the stars of Jurassic Park meet the stars of Jurassic World.
Yes.
Not necessarily that it's a good scene, but that moment was cool.
When they come together, and they're working together.
And that's about it. That's the only, besides the fact that, Bill Gates is represented in it. That and that scene, and then the middle scene of the action, those were the only things I could say I liked about it.
I will say something that I did like about it is that, all right, Henry Wu, the doctor who did all the cloning in all the movies. He started off in the first movie that he wasn't really a bad guy. In the first Jurassic Park movie, he was just a scientist doing the work. And then we get to Jurassic World, and he kind of has like a semi-villain feel to it, you know? But in this movie, I like that they gave him, like, even though I helped create it, I saved the world type of thing at the end. I like that they gave him closure. It's just like, after all this stuff, he's finally doing something right with all the cloning and everything. So I can appreciate that they did that for Dr. Henry Wu.
Another thing I liked, I also appreciate the very, very end of the coexist message.
Yes.
Which, obviously was implied towards dinosaurs and humans coexisting, but those shots of like the different animals roaming together. It's a good message. It's a good message.
It is a good message. But seeing horses run with those other dinosaurs, I'm like, bro, that's not gonna happen. That was
a cool shot.
They were all really cool shots, and I get
shot.
what they were trying to do. It did feel a little funny to me. It was just I was laughing, I was giggling because I just thought it was funny because I automatically knew what they did. They just found wild animal shots and then they just added in dinosaurs running in with them. It was just funny to me.
If we've learned anything about me in this episode, is that I think that we should all coexist except for Bill Gates.
That's right. Although I will say I didn't necessarily enjoy the story in the movie. There was enough to entertain me in this.
Really?
I was entertained when the action decided to be action and seeing dinosaurs. Enough. I'm sorry, I see a dinosaur, I'm going to enjoy the dinosaur. But,
a lot of dinosaurs didn't look good. There wasn't enough entertainment. There was too much non-entertainment for when that one great scene that was super entertaining, it still doesn't make up for the whole movie not being entertaining. For me.
Yeah.
For me.
The beginning of this movie was way too long before things started kicking in.
Okay, so I hate when movies feel long.
Mm-hmm.
This movie's 2.5 hours. It feels like 2.5 hours, but I can't even complain about it being long because that's irrelevant at this point because the first hour sucks.
Yes.
So I can't even complain about it being long because even if the movie was only an hour, I would have been like, well, it was still awful. It was an hour of shit. It was an hour of hot garbage. Jurassic Park is the best one.
Oh, yeah.
Jurassic Land, is that what the second one's called?
No, The Lost World.
Sorry, Jurassic Park The Lost World is also awful. I don't like that movie. So it's like they're being very consistent. And then 3, I find it entertaining, but it's not that great.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still entertaining at least. And it's like Jurassic World's like the same. Like the first one's the best, the second one was awful, and you're saying the third one you found entertaining. So it almost kind of like fits that pattern.
Okay.
Would you rather watch this one or The Lost World?
The Lost World.
Really?
Yeah, I'd probably watch the.
I
Lost
probably
Boys.
would too, and I hate that one.
I don't hate. When that first came out, I did not like it because I was going off of the feeling of the first one. But enough time has gone by where I've gone back and rewatched the second one, and it's not so awful. I mean, it's not great, but I guess I can watch it better than this one that we just saw.
I'm mad. I would like the original kids to have been in this, maybe, or something like that. One of them, the original kids from Jurassic Park. They try to do some fan service by bringing the original cast together. I would say they failed on fan service. I don't know, dude. I just say this movie was like a big fail.
Yeah, I
just get so mad because we have so many great. Like, look at Top Gun, dude. I don't even like the original Top Gun. Mm-hmm. The second one is like freaking phenomenal. It actually makes you like the first one.
It felt like the old ways that they made movies, the old way of storytelling. Like, it was just a good movie. Why couldn't they do that with this?
You guys are revamping stuff. You're doing sequels. Like, you guys got dinosaurs. You got Jurassic Park. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. You f***ed it up. The Agometer on Jurassic World Dominion is a 4.
Okay. You're a 4?
I'm at a 4.
Okay. I'm kind of in between a 6 and a 7 on this for me.
Wow.
I'm kind of in between a 6 and a 7.
That's like...
you know what? For the fact that they brought the original cast back and I liked them in it.
They phoned it in. It wasn't really their fault. They were cool.
That's what they were working with. This is what they were given to work, and I felt like they did the best of their abilities.
They were awesome in it. It wasn't their fault. The dialogue was pretty bad. The script was pretty bad.
But it was so good to see them together.
I love him. What's his name? O'Neill. What's his name?
Sam Neill.
Dude, Sam Neill is awesome. You know he really has like a thick Irish accent. It's so cool.
Oh, is he Irish?
No, he's from New Zealand.
It's New Zealand?
He's from New Zealand.
I see. So he's in Peaky Blinders, which is like my favorite show. And whenever I watch it, and he's like the villain in the first 2 seasons, and he's playing an Irishman, so he has a thick Irish accent. But yeah, he really has a thick ass accent. So whenever I see Dr. Grant, I'm like, I can't believe he doesn't even sound like this. I love him, dude. I think he's awesome.
Yeah, he's a great. I liked him in what was it? The space movie. I forget. It was a space horror movie. Event Horizon. That was a good one.
Anyway,
you've never seen it, obviously.
I haven't. We're not going to do trivia this week because last week we did the draft where we each drafted 5 movies and they all had to be 5 summer movies. So Kevin drafted 5, I drafted 5, and then you guys voted for who had the best summer movie stash. Instead of trivia, we're going to give you the results. Whoever won chooses the next movie to watch. You still owe me Godfather.
Yes, I do.
And the Elvis movie.
Yes, I do.
All right. So, we polled Instagram, and 40-70. No, wait, I'm sorry. I don't have my picture with me because it's on my phone. It was a little closer than that. It was...
You said 48-52.
That's Twitter.
Oh, that was Twitter?
Yeah, it was around like 60-something...
To 40-something?
No, I want to say like... No, maybe it was like 70-something to 40-something. Okay. Anyway, it don't matter. Kevin won Instagram, all right? Kevin won Instagram. It was closer than you thought. It was closer than you thought.
Okay.
We polled Twitter, and it was 52 to 48% me.
But I had a higher percentage on Instagram.
Yes, it's true. It's true. Then the homeschool podcast listeners casted their vote. So again, by 1 vote, Kevin.
Oh.
Kevin won. That's exactly how it happened the last draft. Like, you won Instagram, I won Twitter, and then the podcast listeners vote. You won by 1.
Life finds a way. So I get to choose a movie, right?
Right.
All right. So I have some summer movies that I love to watch every summer, and I know that 2 that you haven't watched, but 1 I think that you would actually enjoy. It's a little bit older, but it is a John Candy movie. It's not The Great Outdoors. It is Summer Rental.
Okay.
Summer Rental.
I've never seen it. I've actually been interested to watch it because I'm surprised I never even heard of it.
Up until right now?
No, up until like last week.
Okay, you did hear about it last week.
Well, because it was on your like runner-up
of
the summer movies. So
So I'll make you watch Summer Rental with John Candy. It's a John
All right,
Candy
man.
movie. You can't.
Hey,
go wrong.
it could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been One Crazy Summer with John Cusack.
I'm Agostino Zoida.
I'm Kevin Lyons.
This is
The
the Movie
Movie
Stash.